Episode 11 of Dragon Ball Daima is here, and this time we get not one, but two Tamagami fights. Except the catch is that they're both half fights. But before we can get to them, we've got to back up just a little bit and continue the plot. So Dr. Arensu's plan with Majin was a bust, and it looks like she's going back to the drawing board with Marba to create a brand new Majin warrior. Since they only have one Cyberman seed left, they decide to go all in. They're going to use all of the remaining Majin Buu essence this time, and pretty much just hope for the best. This time, the Majin created is named Do, so we now have Majin Ku and Majin Do. This new creation seems to favor the fat Majin Buu a lot more, and even his personality is pretty close to his too. From the looks of things, it appears that Majin Du's intelligence may have been affected by the use of all of that Majin Buu essence, because if you remember, Buu was a creature of chaos. The first thing he does when he's born is asks for some chocolate. I mean, that's classic Buu right there. And through all of this, it's really funny to see Majin Ku be so excited about the fact that he now has a brother. As soon as Do gets his chocolate, Arensu takes him directly to the Tamagami to try once again to get the Dragon Ball. In a similar fashion to his brother, he starts doing some weird moves, but unlike his brother, his attacks seem to have the Tamagami rattled a bit. It would appear that Do might actually be a bit stronger than Ku was. He's even mimicking some of Kid Buu's old fighting techniques. Though I'm figuring that his intelligence, or lack thereof, is going to play a major factor in how this fight ends because he learns in the fight that he can use ki blasts, but he discovers this by accidentally shooting himself in the face. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I don't ever recall a character in Dragon Ball before accidentally ki blasting themselves in the face just because they stared at their hand a little bit too long. Anyway, that's all we pretty much get out of this fight. As it looks right now, Tamagami number 1 and Majin Do appear to be pretty evenly matched, though I'm sure neither one of them is using their full strength just yet. Meanwhile, in the second demon world, Goku and all his buddies are confronted by Neva the Namek. The group tries to ask Neva what he's doing here, but he just starts singing and dancing, and Vegeta's just like, this old Namek is senile, let's just ignore him. But Piccolo isn't convinced. And actually, Piccolo outright says that Neva is faking being senile, and Neva confirms this. It seems that Neva has decided to stay on this old planet Namek in hopes that the other Nameks will return to the demon realm someday, so he's just watching over it. And we learned that it was indeed Neva who created the Tamagami. He wanted to put an extra barrier of protection around the Dragon Balls just in case evil people with selfish desires tried to gather them up. Ponzi's quick to point out, though, that being able to create such powerful warriors would mean that Neva should have easily been able to take over the demon realm himself and become the Supreme Demon King. But Neva says that Namek powers should never be used for conflict. This kind of goes along with what we saw of the Nameks back during the Frieza saga in that they're mostly a peaceful race. The only ones who seem to be eager to fight are the warrior-type Nameks. Then the group decides it's time to say goodbye to Neva and make their way to the second Tamagami, but Neva stops them and says, "Hey, let me go with you guys." At first they tell him he can't come because there's just not enough room for him. It's already cramped in the ship as it is. But it turns out they actually need him because, just like in the Frieza saga on planet Namek with Porunga, you need to be able to speak the Namek language in order to make a wish on the Dragon Balls. I really like this callback because it shows a nice attention to detail. It makes perfect sense that the Demon Realm Dragon and Porunga would have similar requirements for getting wishes granted. Then we arrive at the Tamagami, and it's Vegeta who wants to do the fighting this time. Now this fight feels a lot more like a Dragon Ball Z fight out of the gate instead of a classic Dragon Ball fight. Despite that though, the animation for this fight still looks wonderful. This is one area in the show that has not wavered at all. I wasn't as excited about this fight, and I guess that's because we've kind of seen a few of the bigger scale fights in the series now, and until Vegeta turns it up a little bit, then I don't think there's any reason to get super excited just yet. But this episode kind of ends in an unexpected way, as Vegeta's fight with the Tamagami is interrupted when he's knocked into the water and he's swallowed by a Kraken. I'm glad to see that the threat of the Krakens wasn't just completely glossed over, like actually seeing one of them do something significant like interrupt this important fight is a good call. Now I fully expect Vegeta to just destroy the thing from the inside by going Super Saiyan in the next episode, but still, I guess this is a decent way to end the episode on a sort of cliffhanger, even though we know he's not gonna die because he shows up in the preview for the next episode. Overall, I didn't hate this episode, but it wasn't super impressive. It moved things along in a way that it needed to, but I just wasn't like blown away by anything. Like I said, I fully expect Vegeta to go Super Saiyan and destroy the Kraken and take down the Tamagami and get the group the second Dragon Ball. I'm much more interested in how Majin Buu's battle with Tamagami number 1 is going to go. My guess is that one of two things is going to happen in this fight. Either Majin Buu will just barely defeat Tamagami number 1, which will make Aransu happy but also concerned that he won't be strong enough to take down Goku and Vegeta. Or Buu will actually lose, but it will be a very close fight, which will get Aransu and Marba to try to fuse the two Majin together to create the perfect Super Warrior, or whatever you want to call him. Now I have to stop and point out that apparently a character design sheet leaked that showed off a bunch of unrevealed characters and forms and transformations for this series, and it's floating around on the internet, so if you don't want to be spoiled for anything, be careful where you're looking. I did come across that leaked sheet on Twitter, but luckily I was able to figure out right away what it was and managed to scroll past it without remembering anything that I saw on the sheet. What do you guys think? Did you like this episode? Do you think that Never the Namek joining Goku and his crew is going to be more interesting or less? What about Majin Buu? Do you like this brand new Majin that we got, or do you like Ku more? Thanks for watching this video, I really appreciate it. If you want to support my channel, then be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can also donate to my channel over on my Ko-fi page, or you can become a member of the channel if you would like to do that. Now, I'm going to go make sure that Dr. Aransu and Marba don't start saying that their plans are being foiled by some meddling kids.